Right now at 6, a mother struggling to make sense of a shocking shooting.
Very caring person. He never had any problems with anyone.
How she wants people to remember her son after he was killed at a Richmond IHOP. Plus, the new year starting off with more of the same rain. We're tracking the timing for an even stronger storm with gusty winds headed our way. And a shipyard stunner in Vallejo, why the Mare Island dry dock is shutting down and what experts think could be next for the industry here in the Bay Area. And later,
and let's go Niners!
We'll introduce you to a truly devoted member of the faithful.
I probably could have bought a house. It's been a lot.
Who's ready to follow the Niners at home or on the road for the upcoming playoff run.
This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
Good evening and Happy New Year to you. I'm Sarah Donchie in for Juliette. We begin tonight with the family grieving the loss of their loved one who was shot and killed at a Richmond IHOP where he only just started working recently. Family members have identified the victim as Rosa Garcia, and police say he was killed by one of his co-workers. Garcia's family told our Brad Hamilton that they've barely begun to process what just happened.
Rosa Garcia's family is heartbroken. His mother, speaking through a family member who translated, says that there are no words to describe the loss of her son.
She doesn't have any words to explain the pain and what it feels like to be in this situation.
On Monday, Romario, 31 years old, was working at the Richmond IHOP on Close Way when police say that a co-worker shot and killed him in a targeted attack. Later that day, the suspected shooter went to the San Pablo police station, but a language barrier prevented communication. Police say that he then walked away and shot himself outside the station. He remains in critical condition. Investigators say the motive is unclear, and Garcia's family is still searching for answers themselves.
Our answers have not been met. Like we don't know exactly what happened.
His sister-in-law tells us that Romario had only been working on the job about a month, still learning the routine and getting settled. It's a fact that's been hard to process as the family now grapples with how quickly everything changed.
I was the one helped him with his application, all the paperwork that was needed from headquarters, corporation. Everything was online, so I was the one that helped him and unfortunately found him that job.
And as they try to piece together what led to this tragedy, they want people to remember who Romario was. His mom describing him as a light.
He was a very humble man, very caring person. He never had any problems with anyone.
We did reach out to Richmond police for an update on the suspected shooter's condition and any developments in the case, but we have not heard back today. Turning now to the forecast on this first alert weather day, it has been a really rainy start to 2026. Last night's showers persisted well into the morning for a lot of places in the Bay. People needed their umbrellas and their rain jackets running errands at Target in Dublin. And it was a sloppy day on the roads, too. Lanes were flooded in several spots this morning along Highway 24 and Interstate 580 in Oakland. Looking live over the Bay right now, there's still a chance of some showers out there, but it's drying out a bit. We even saw the sun peeking out in places this afternoon, which was kind of a rare moment for the last few days. But more rain is coming, so let's get over to Chief Meteorologist Paul Hagan to talk about that.
Yeah, if you caught a glimpse of sunshine, consider yourself lucky because it's going to be in short supply for the next few days. Let's take a look at the radar replay over the past couple of hours. And while we don't have the widespread rain that we had for most of yesterday evening and last night, there are still some scattered hit or miss showers. Light rain showers, not amounting to much more than a few hundredths of an inch of rain per hour. Some of those making their way through Marin and southern Sonoma counties, and a few more showers in the Santa Cruz Mountains as well. This kind of activity is still going to be possible through this evening. This is Futurecast through 10 p.m., which shows this scattered activity. Grab an umbrella, a rain jacket on your way out the door if you're heading out and about this evening. But later this evening and overnight, that activity is going to move out, and we get into a dry-ish time frame late tonight and much of the day on Friday. Dry-ish is the key word there because we're not going to completely lose the chance of showers. Again, be flexible with anything you want to get done outside. But tomorrow during the day does look like the most favorable time frame for that before the next round of rain moves in. So how much do we pick up out of this round of rainfall? Well, the amounts are variable. 3/4 of an inch in San Jose. That's not bad in the rain shadow in the Santa Clara Valley. Exactly 1 inch of rain in San Francisco, close to 2 inches in San Rafael, and over 2 inches of rain so far, approaching 2 1/4 around Ben Lomond. And there are more rain chances to come through the weekend into early next week. In fact, through the middle of next week, at least a decent chance of showers all the way through Wednesday. And this is all going to combine to have the impact of an AR3 atmospheric river, which is the middle of the scale, but it means beneficial rain, but maybe a little too much of a good thing. We'll add it up over the course of the next several days, coming up in the full forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Paul, thank you so much. We are, of course, going to be tracking the storms as they pass through our area, as we always do. We'll keep you updated on the air and on the free CBS News app, and as always on our website, KPIX.com. We are hearing from one of the people who lost their belongings in this major storage facility fire that happened in Richmond. It happened on Carlson Boulevard just after midnight on Christmas Eve. Firefighters battled the flames for most of the day that day, but the roof ended up collapsing, and you can imagine how much damage that did. And in the days following, Public Storage alerted renters whose units were damaged or destroyed in that fire. Sarah Cruiser says she was in shock when she got the call earlier this week that her belongings were deemed a total loss. She is a single mom of a 6-year-old boy who is in between apartments and staying with a friend. So pretty much everything she owned was in that storage unit. She says everything from family photos to clothes and furniture were lost in the fire.
Really only kept everything that was so special. And I put it all there, and it was temporary, and I knew that.
We reached out to Public Storage to see if they had any plans to support those renters impacted by the fire, but so far we haven't heard back on this holiday, and we, of course, will follow up on that story. Several Santa Rosa residents are displaced after a fire broke out in a senior housing tower on New Year's Eve. Firefighters responded to the Bethlehem Tower on Tupper Street yesterday around 3 p.m. There was no sign of smoke at first, but crews did find a water leak on the 12th floor where a sprinkler was containing a fire that had broke out in one apartment. Several floors suffered water damage. Nobody was hurt, but the cause of that small fire is under investigation now. The new year bringing another economic blow to Solano County. The Mare Island Dry Dock just announced it's closing its facility and laying off all employees. The facility has operated in Vallejo right along the Napa River since 2013. But Mare Island's shipbuilding legacy dates all the way back to the 1850s. It's the oldest shipyard facility on the West Coast and was the first U.S. naval base in the Pacific. The company says it's closing after losing a contract, and this comes just weeks after Anheuser-Busch Budweiser plant in Fairfield announced it was closing. Reporter Tori Apodaca has more on what this means for workers and what it means for the county.
The Mare Island Dry Dock forced to close after the U.S. Coast Guard went with a higher bid.
I don't know why they did this, but I'm going to find out.
Congressman John Garamendi outraged, saying the Coast Guard gave the contract to service an icebreaker to a Portland-based company that's bid was over $1 million more than Mare Island's, a facility with a history of working on Coast Guard icebreakers, cutters, and vessels.
This is an industry that's been coming back the last couple of years, and then this occurs.
The state's former director of the Employment Development Department says Mare Island's closure is devastating for the 80 workers and their families, but thinks the Working Waterfront Coalition is strong.
These good union-based, well-paying blue-collar jobs, they're very difficult to replace.
The Solano County Workforce Development Board is working with the impacted employees to find them jobs. The same group that's also searching for jobs for the 200-plus employees who will lose their jobs when the Anheuser-Busch Budweiser facility closes in Fairfield in February.
And I hurt for them, and we're going to do everything we can to help. What does that mean? Do we have money to give them? No. But do we have resources? We do.
What do you think is next for the dry docks there?
The next step for the dry dock is to get business.
Another blind side of a closure in Solano County, but Congressman Garamendi confident shipbuilding in the Bay is not sunk for good.
CBS News has also reached out to the U.S. Coast Guard and the Department of Homeland Security for comment on this, but we have not heard back. Garamendi has been one of the lawmakers leading the efforts to revive America's shipbuilding industry at places like Mare Island. He co-authored the Ships for America Act, which is currently sitting in a House subcommittee. There are plans for a new shipbuilding operation a few miles up the Carquinez Strait in the tiny enclave of Collinsville. It's coming from California Forever. You might remember that group of Silicon Valley billionaires that's trying to establish a new city in Solano County. Some state legislators are working on a bill to fast track that project, and Solano County supervisors signed off on the shipyard plan in September. One thing that hasn't changed in the new year, earthquakes still rattling San Ramon. Just before 5 tonight, a 3.2 quake struck that area. We have been reporting on how they have seen hundreds of these small quakes in the last several months, and a lot of you have told us that you have felt many of them. Still ahead here at 6, a new year brings hundreds of new laws to California. We'll ask shoppers how they feel about the even stricter ban on plastic bags. Plus, she travels far enough for some 49ers home games. We'll meet a superfan ready to follow the red and gold anywhere they go in the playoffs.
We've been season ticket holders and attended pretty much almost every game away and home. We've missed very little.
And an extraordinary honor for a float repping the Bay Area. The Hardware San Francisco group is taking home from this year's very rainy Rose Parade. '49ers fans are looking forward to this weekend's showdown versus the Seattle Seahawks. Whoever wins gets the NFC's top seed and an extra bye week, plus home field advantage throughout the playoffs, which is no small thing. But even if the Niners have to go on the road for the postseason, our Suji Nam shows us that wouldn't interfere with one superfan's love for the team.
Love this one. Jerry Rice has one just like it too.
From head.
This is my latest fun piece, my sourdough Sam hat.
To toe.
However we can represent all the things. Glitter boots.
Superfan Belinda Rhodes is decked out in 49ers gear.
I have my chains.
Belinda has been cheering on for the Niners for as long as she can remember.
My dad was a Niner fan. My brothers are Niner fans. So really born into the Niner faithful.
And since 2014, she's been loyal to the faithful.
We've been season ticket holders and attended pretty much almost every game away and home. We've missed very little.
We're taking over Jersey, baby.
And that's no easy feat. Belinda splits her time between Stockton and Carmel. She makes sure she has at least one jersey and some memorabilia in her car, just in case.
I probably could have bought a house. It's been a lot. It's an investment in just the entertainment and being a fan.
All eyes are on Saturday's high-stakes game against the Seattle Seahawks. If the Niners win, they'll lock in home field advantage through the Super Bowl.
I work on a golf course, but I'm a football fan, so.
No matter home or away, Belinda will be there to root on her 49ers like she has for decades.
Faithfuls in the parking lot taking photos. This was my birthday game in Indiana.
Courtney Ferranti, Belinda's boss, is also a Niners fan.
2 months ago, Belinda put in a request to have Super Bowl Sunday off so she could go see the Niners play.
Belinda is faithful that the Niners will secure the NFC West title and conference's #1 seed.
I'm really confident. We've been playing well. Purdy's been playing well.
And if they do, she knows just what to wear.
This is my favorite jersey, Jerry Rice. He signed it. When the stadium opened, he did a signing, so we stood in line all night. I was number 3 in line.
As long as the 49ers take the field, Belinda will be there.
And let's go Niners!
And you surely won't miss her in the bleachers.
All right, that's commitment. Her neighbors have definitely heard her do that before. Stay with us for all the excitement leading up to the Best in the West showdown. We'll have continuing coverage all of this week ahead of Saturday night's big game. We're very excited for that. The new year means a lot of new state laws kicking in. One of the first that you might notice is that plastic bags will no longer be available at grocery stores. The ban comes about a decade after California passed similar legislation, but a loophole allowed stores to keep offering thicker plastic bags that were deemed reusable. Paper bags will still be available to customers, but some shoppers we heard from in San Jose are not big fans of this change.
I'm all for saving the environment and stuff, but what happens is that when I pick these things up, they break every time.
them tearing easily and whatnot, but for the environmental reasons, then I'm totally on board with it.
A full demo with that soundbite there. A look at several other state laws that have now taken effect. Assembly Bill 289 allows for radar detectors near work construction zones to enforce speeding violations against drivers and to take pictures of cars' license plates. Assembly Bill 1340 allows Uber and Lyft drivers to form unions and negotiate a contract. Senate Bill 40 will cap copays for a 30-day supply of insulin at $35, while Assembly Bill 867 effectively bans declawing cats unless it is deemed medically necessary. In San Francisco, plenty of people still celebrating the start of 2026. This is a live look at the first Thursday block party downtown. Not huge crowds out there. I suppose that's to be expected given the weather conditions. The event does go until 10 tonight on 2nd Street between Market and Howard. Organizers are planning for a crowd of more than 20,000 people, so we'll see if people show up as the night goes on. Elsewhere in the city, while a lot of people were sleeping in today after their New Year's party, some neighbors rang in the new year in a more traditional way this morning. This is the annual Hatsumode service at the Konko Church in Japantown. The Japanese tradition is aimed at reflecting on the previous year and focusing on the faith for the year ahead. People will write prayers of good fortune and partake in a traditional sip of sake. Church leaders also say the ceremony puts an emphasis on gratitude. Coming up, we always love hearing about the first babies of the new year, and this time that little guy was born, and the story will be tough to top. Holiday storms brought several feet of snow to the Sierra, and after a slow start to the ski season, most resorts are now fully operational, and they're set to get an even bigger boost with more snow coming this weekend. This is a look at Boreal, where visitors were taking advantage of more fresh powder today. Some skiers from the Bay Area said the conditions were a pleasant surprise.
We thought we were going to come up here and there's going to be no snow. We're just going to have to figure out something else to do, but we were like so happy when we saw that there was a lot of rain coming down, which means a lot of snow.
One thing I have learned from you is that if you are going to the mountains, you really do have to plan like when you leave, when you get there, your route.
Especially relevant this weekend because the rain they saw today, that's going to transition to snow. They're going to pick up quite a bit as we head through the weekend. So let's start with the conditions in the Sierra where they're under a winter storm warning. This goes through Monday where they're going to pick up several feet of snow. At lake level, talking about up to 18 inches of snow, 1.5 feet. Above 8,000 feet in elevation, they're talking about 3 to 5 feet of snow. So beginning Saturday, continuing Sunday and Monday, treacherous travel conditions on US 50 and on I-80. Around the Bay Area, we have some showers this evening. Tomorrow looks like the one day you might be able to sneak out with a lower chance of rain and maybe get the dogs a little exercise. We have an adoptable dog of the day. This is Shira. If you think back to your 80s cartoons, temperatures are going to reach up into the upper 50s in Dublin. She's adoptable from the East County Animal Shelter. I'll put up a link on social media right after this weathercast. But after tomorrow afternoon, basically, we're looking at a wet forecast through the beginning of next week. So let's get into the details, and we will start with the showers that we have out there this evening, which are not very heavy and they're not very numerous, but they're out there. So grab the umbrella, the rain jacket as you're heading out the door. The most intense rainfall, no surprise, in the higher elevations of the Santa Cruz Mountains. Futurecast through 10 p.m. shows the off and on showers continuing to roll in. It's after 10 o'clock, though, that we're going to see things largely quieting down. The rain kind of pushes a little bit farther to the north. A few leftover showers in the pre-sunrise hours of Friday morning for the North Bay. Otherwise, things are going to be pretty calm as we head through most of the day Friday. Couple splash and dash showers still possible. Leave the umbrella stashed in the back seat just in case. But the bulk of the rain with this next system isn't going to move in until after sunset tomorrow. While we're in this break, temperatures are going to warm up basically to what's normal for this time of year. Let's take a look at the forecast highs for tomorrow, which are largely going to reach up to a mix of upper 50s and low 60s. Temperatures will be coolest in the North Bay. We're only going to reach up into the middle portion of the 50s. But all these numbers are actually fairly close to what's normal for this time of year. But the rain is on the way tomorrow night. Here's Futurecast from 4 p.m. through 10 p.m. tomorrow, and there is the heavier, steadier rain. Some heavy downpours embedded within this Gustier winds as well, more wind energy with this next system. It's going to come at us in a couple of different bands. A little break in between just before the sun comes up on Saturday morning, but then another round of rain is going to sweep across the Bay Area through the first half of Saturday with another one right after that Saturday afternoon. You add these up, and we're talking about rainfall totals across the Bay Area, generally in the 1/4 inch to 1 inch range, but some spots are going to overachieve. Futurecast indicating 2 inches of rain around San Rafael and 1.5 inches of rain for Ben Lomond. Again, specific numbers, take it with a grain of salt, but it gives us a general sense of the range of what to expect. But there's more on top of that. And the wind is going to be more substantial. A wind advisory goes into effect at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So the winds will be noticeable, but not too strong. As we begin the day Friday, they do pick up 20 to 30 mile an hour gusts widespread tomorrow afternoon, with gusts in the 30 to 40 mile an hour range at the coast. Those pick up to the 40 to 50 mile an hour range by tomorrow evening, with 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts farther inland. So be prepared for sporadic power outages with this next system as it moves through. And Saturday is going to be another breezy day. And then there's still more rain, just without the wind, on the way Sunday. And again on Monday, after a brief little break, more rain to start the work week, and still some showers possible both Tuesday. Look like those would be pretty few and far between. And then again on Wednesday, before we finally catch a dry break a week from today. It's going to take that long. So total rain over the next 7 days. This is the estimate from the Weather Prediction Center, which generally calls for about 1 inch or 2 of rain for most of the Bay Area, but more in the Santa Cruz Mountains and more for the North Bay, where the ranges are going to be mostly in the 2 to 4 inch range. It's 4 straight alert days still to go. And then we get into more of a shower pattern Tuesday and Wednesday. And then we have one dry day, one lonely dry day at the very end of the 7-day forecast. We'll keep you updated on all the rain and wind in the meantime. Sarah?
All right, Paul, thank you. When we come back, the San Francisco float takes home a major honor at the wettest Rose Parade in 2 decades. A new era of the CBS Evening News with Tony DeCopel begins Monday night right here in the Bay Area. Tony is a familiar face helping us wake up on CBS mornings. Now he's taking the reins of the CBS Evening News. Join us as Tony launches from his Live from America tour, and his first stop is San Francisco. That's Monday night starting at 6:30. Thousands of people got soaked watching the 137th annual Rose Parade in Pasadena this morning. The crowds and performers donned their ponchos while they enjoyed the first rainy Rose Parade in 20 years. And San Francisco's float did more than represent the city in the parade. It also is taking home a major award. The city's float, Believe in San Francisco, took home the Extraordinaire Award for Most Extraordinary Float. The 55-foot float featured some iconic San Francisco sites like the Painted Ladies, a cable car, and of course the Golden Gate Bridge there. San Francisco Travel's CEO said their hard work paid off.
You see it up close in the detail of on the Painted Ladies. They literally took seeds and one tweezer at a time made painted stained glass windows. I think when you see it up close like that, it really, there is no other word to describe it other than extraordinary.
In case you were wondering, the float cost about $300,000 to make. Organizers say it was worth every penny. We are getting a look at one of the first babies born in the new year, and this one has some bragging rights. He was born 9 seconds after midnight in Monterey County. Meet Noah Mora Medina. He was born at Community Hospital of the Monterey Peninsula. He entered the world weighing 7 pounds, 11 ounces, measuring 20.5 inches long. The family from Soledad shared they could not be happier and described Noah as perfect. The CBS Evening News is next on KPIX. Local news continues on our streaming service, CBS News Bay Area. We'll see you at 7.